Hello, everyone, and welcome to my presentation. This is the Pokemon Analysis Dashboard. This project was it is for Angelhac monthly code challenge, termed data visualization and storytelling. And my name is Ogechku Sylvia Oku, and my team member is NS Owojori. Our team name is Team Eternamax. The objective of this project is to explore the distribution of Pokemons, to understand the characteristics of Pokemon types, to uncover attributes of the best set of Pokemon collections, to compare pairs of Pokemon in preparation for battle. Our thought process for this project was guided by our curiosity about the world of Pokemons and passion for extracting valuable insights from data. Okay, this is the cover page of the dashboard, and moving on to the type of distribution, we can see that there are 1,194 Pokemons, among which water type Pokemon with a primary type of water is topping the group, while the least represented Pokemon type is the flying type. This is for the primary types. There are 18 unique Pokemon types, and among these Pokemon types, the primary types, water is leading while flying is the least represented, like I said. And there are Pokemons that do not have a secondary type, and there are those that have a secondary type. For Pokemons that do not have for Pokemons that have a secondary type, flying is dominating. So we can see that whilst flying type is the least represented Pokemons in the primary type, flying is the most represented for Pokemons with a secondary type. And we can see that the distribution of, I paired a primary type and the secondary type so that we can see the two type combinations. Now I can see that in the paired type, Pokemons with normal and flying are the more represented Pokemons in the group. And also, this is the ratio of Pokemons with a secondary type. Among these 1,194 Pokemons, 54.6% have a secondary type, while 45.4% do not have a secondary type. Which among those that do not have a secondary type, these are the top 5. Obviously, I used the tweet for it, where Mega Mewtwo Y is leading. Among Pokemons that have a secondary type, if I click on this, I get to see that water is also dominating, while flying is also dominating. This is not it's not new since they have the more count in it. So what best I did was to check for each primary type, the ones that are more represented, and I found out that Dragon, it has more percentage of Pokemons with a secondary type, with Mega Rayquaza leading that. So the Dragon type has 73.5% of Pokemons with a secondary type, while it has 26.5% of Pokemons without a secondary type. We also see that normal is water is leading obviously in the count, but it's not leading in the ratio of Pokemons with a secondary type. Because it has more numbers, I thought of comparing it with the ratio, so we get to see the Pokemons that is more represented with a secondary type, and we can obviously still explore for other types where we have the fairy type, and so we can see that the fairy type has just 32% of Pokemons with a secondary type. Okay. And this is the table of the top this is the top 6 Pokemons by their total total scores. So Eternamax is leading this group. It's a Pokemon with the primary type of poison and secondary type of dragon with a maximum score of, with a total score of 1,125. So these are the battle metrics. It has high hit points, heavy on defense, heavy on special defense. It's one of those with maximum special defense, and it has relatively on average is more than the average. We can still see that of speed, special attack, and followed by the Mega Muto X. So I got to find out that the X and Y is for the male and female. So Mega Muto X is the male Mega Muto. So the Mega Muto Y is the female Mega Muto. So both of them, they relatively have the same total scores, but a slight difference in their battle metrics, which we can also explore further. And I added a toggle button, so I can choose to view this dashboard in the dark mode, anyone that is more preferable to you. So there is a concept we use for this, my second page analysis, which I'll talk about, the cluster. We use K-means clustering methods to achieve this. It's K-means clustering is a popular unsupervised learning algorithm from scikit-learn in Python. So the aim was to group similar Pokemons based on their attributes, and we used 6 clusters. So after that, this is the distribution of Pokemons by cluster. The main aim of doing this is to like dive deeper insights to get the weak points and strong points of each cluster and how the primary types are distributed in each of these cluster. Now we can see that cluster 2 has the highest count of Pokemons with 386 Pokemons, while the least is cluster 5. But on average scores by the clusters, cluster 3 is leading, while the least is cluster 2. So let's find out the Pokemons in their strengths. So when I click on Pokemon 3, I can see that Pokemon 3 they have their attack is strong, their special attack is strong, they have relative high speed, and they have more than average of hit points, because I mean the average hit point is 71. So I can click on attack, and I'm seeing that cluster 3 is leading in attack, and I'll click on defense, and the cluster that is leading on defense is cluster 5. So cluster 5 is best in defense, just like I stated here. And special attack, cluster 3 is leading. Let's also be noting that cluster 3 is always coming. If it's not first, it's second, which obviously contributed to its being the best Pokemon. So for defense, while cluster 5 is best in defense, cluster 3 is best runner up. So talking about special defense, we see that cluster 0 is best in special defense, followed by cluster 3. On hit points, cluster 1 is best in hit points, followed by cluster 3. Then on speed, cluster 3 is leading in speed. Now I can see this is the distribution of Pokemons for each cluster. Then this is cluster 3. It's just few Pokemons that have high representatives in cluster 3. I mean, this cluster 3 is looking like where the big guys are in. I mean, if we go to the poison type of cluster 3, the poison type, we get to see Eternatus and Eternatus Eternamax. These are the Pokemon that gave us our highest total scores. And we can see that among this cluster 3, Dragon type and Psychic are the ones that is leading. Psychic has 22, while Dragon type has a 20. Now, I could say that the Dragon is more performing than the Psychic type, because I mean, looking at the Dragon type, it has lesser number than Psychic, but more of its distribution, more of the numbers in Dragon is more in this cluster 3, where we have Mega Rakaza leading the group, followed by these other ones. They just have equal scores of 700 each. And we are getting something. I would like you to also see what I'm seeing, that there are sets of Pokemons that are megas. Like I have a mega Rayquaza. There is a typical Rayquaza. So the megas are dominating this cluster three. Like you are basically seeing mega everywhere. Like they they are dominating the cluster three. It's made me to understand that the mega types are the stronger part of their base form. They have a base form, and the megas is like a higher order of the base form. So this is the summary of what I just explained here. Higher number of Pokemons are in cluster two. Um, However, cluster two is the least performing. Cluster three is overall best performing cluster on average. In three battle metrics, that's attack, special attack, and speed. While it's coming up as first runner for other battle metrics, it is dominated by Pokemons with primary type, dragons, and psychic. And also, there is something, okay, I'll still talk on that. Based on collection, I produced this page on collection so we can get to explore these clusters more. I mean, okay, by default, I have the best Pokemon. I can scroll down to others, but if I want to see the Pokemons in cluster 3, I'll click on 3. I want to see the Pokemons in cluster 3. Sorry, it's still loading up. Still loading up. So these are the Pokemons in cluster 3, the Mega Mewtwo X, the Mega Mewtwo Y, the Mega Rayquaza, and so on. They are obviously more down here. And the more inside, the reason I brought back this ratio of Pokemons back to this page is that I also noticed that Pokemons in cluster 3 have higher ratio, they have more Pokemons with a secondary type. I mean, the ratio of Pokemons with a secondary type to those without a secondary type is 78.8% to the percentage of Pokemons with a secondary type. But when we look at Pokemons with in cluster 2, we can see that the opposite. So it has more Pokemons without a secondary type. And I also noticed, I just jumped over that one, that the more you're going, like cluster 0, it has 64.4%. Then these three clusters, they are relatively close. So this is 51.5% for clusters with secondary Pokemon with a secondary type. And for cluster 5, 51.9, and for cluster 4, 54.0. So everything dropped drastically when it got to clusters in Pokemon in cluster 2. And I can also filter on attack. I can filter on attack to get the Pokemon that are best in attack in my collection. It's still loading up. Okay. Okay. These are the Pokemons that are best in attack. Mega Mewtwo X is leading that. And for Pokemons that are best in defense, obviously, like we said, Cluster 5 is leading. Eternatus is on top of that list. Best in hit points, still loading. Blissey with score of 255, and Eternamax too. They share the same points, and I also added the type. So Blissey is a normal type. It doesn't have a secondary type. So we can also go to special attack, special defense, special attack, Mega Mewtwo, why is leading. Special defense, we have, I think, Eternamax, the big guy. In speed, also, Regeleki is leading. Oh, there's something I missed to talk about. Um, Talked about the Costa that is best in defense, right? That is cluster 5. Cluster 5 is best in defense for listing speed. Yes. Yeah, how did I have missed that? So cluster 5 is best in defense and listing speed. And we can see that it's dominated with by Pokemons in Steel and Rock. So we're looking at cluster 5. We're going down and we're seeing Rock and Steel. So I think this explains why Rock and Steel is dominating cluster 5, because they are very strong in defense, but I feel that they are heavy guys. So when you're heavy, your speed is less. So this is the perfect explanation for this. So cluster 5, uh, they have less speed, and you have Pokemons like the Rock still, you still have Bug there. So this is what I came back here to. I can't believe I switched that. Um, okay, talking about speed. Costa 3 is leading on speed with these guys at the top. Okay, this battle, the battle page, I kind of like this answers like our last objective to compare pairs of Pokemons in preparation for battle. It's like you want to pick two Pokemons for battle. I say I want to pick Mewtwo and Mega Charizard. So I Mega Charizard X. So this is like to compare their battle metrics to see what they have and how best to prepare for the battle, or to prepare the tactics you use. We are seeing attack versus the for attack. Mega Charizard is leading. Mega Charizard is leading in defense. Mewtwo is leading in hit points and so on. What I talked about Mega and their base form. Now this is Mega Charizard. I would want to search for Charizard. Searching for Charizard. You can obviously see it that the Mega is leading in points in attack, in defense, in hit points. They have the same in special attack, in special defense. They have the same in speed. They have the same. Another thing I noticed in the cluster type is the flying type. The flying type, they have less this, don't forget, this is the primary type. So Pokemon with a primary type as flying, they have less distribution of Pokemons. That's just like 1, 1, 3, that's 10. And among the 10, just two are in cluster 3. And I also saw that defense is not there. So for Pokemon, flying Pokemons, uh, defense is not their thing. Because Quarterpipe is best in defense. So defense is not the thing for flying type, but they pretty have some other things to they have other battle metrics and advantages. It's also good to note that this analysis does not pick out a particular Pokemon to win in battle. There are other things that affects a Pokemon, that influences a Pokemon's win in battle. One thing could be the battle arena. I mean, you can't bring a Pokemon that lives in water to battle with a Pokemon that lives on land in his own territory. So that is like another advantage, another factor I want to bring in. And a Pokemon might have heavy defense, but if it's low in speed, and hit points, something. Yes, another Pokemon that has speed might have a higher advantage. So this is just an analysis to compare the characteristics of the Pokemon and not to determine the one that will win or the one that will not win, as there are other external factors affecting that. Obviously, the same, I can decide to, if you're okay with dark mode, you can just decide to view everything in dark mode. Thank you for listening, and thank you for coming to my presentation.